We try this again. Top has to be up. Window's broken. I'm driving. Anyways, I think you can see how dirty. I mean, the light's blowing it out, but it's fucking messy out there. It's Florida. It's hot as fuck too. So I had to re-record this for a third time because I'm not used to using the GoPro where it overheats and I tell my story, my dream shit. It's like 30 minutes plus, so it overheats. I have to watch it. It overheats like at 15 or something. I'm not sure it was 15. I think it's like more like 20, 25 minutes. So I'm still learning. And it didn't help that I was posting it on I tried to put it on DaVinci. And it just got like the first portion of it. So I have to redo it. Pain in the butt because I don't know what I'm doing. I usually something that records at least an hour. And I don't have the sock on this thing because I left it at the house. And I feel lazy going back in the house. So I need to do some stuff today. Because today's my only day off until Wednesday. I mean, you know, and it's like, okay. So, let's talk about this dream, dude. So, in this dream, right, I'm at dinner, or it was lunch. I think it was lunch or some kind of, I don't think it was breakfast, it was lunch. I was at lunch with, my roommate and my little brother. I was in a different country or something. In a different area, it's different, right? And we're having lunch. And while we're having lunch there, this group of people come up in these like pedophile looking vans. You know what I'm talking about? The pedo vans? The big white vans, the big gigantic windows are darked out, and you just weird looking vans. Like that's like the typical movie bad guy van that are trying to kidnap people in it. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those. So I was like, oh shit. They pulled out. These people come out and they're like, and in the dream, I'm live streaming this in the dream, right? So in the dream, I'm live streaming it. And it's like, okay, cool beans. Live streaming this thing. It's cool. And we're just chatting about the food. These people pull up and they all get out in this van. It's like parked in the road, like they're blocking traffic and not giving fucks, right? And they're like, okay. They get out and they talk to us like it's perfectly normal. They're like, you're so and so. They're talking to me, and they address the other two people, right? My roommate and my brother. You're so and so, whatever. But yeah, what is this about? Like, come with us. We got something to show you. You helped us a lot. We're like, what the fuck? I don't remember helping nobody out. I don't remember helping. We're just like, all right, whatever, fuck it, we'll go with it. I don't know why we're just like, we'll go with it. We're just like, we'll go with it. The person, this lady talking to me is, seems like familiar in a weird kind of way. Like, I know I've seen you before, but I'm not really sure where I've seen you, but I've seen you before. And you just got out of this van with like 20 people. I kind of have to follow you. If not, I don't know. So we go towards this, like, the van, right? As we go towards the van, the door opens up and there's like these chairs in there. We're like, fuck it, we're just going there. And I'm live streaming. I grab my food, whatever. We're still live streaming. And the lady that was talking to me, notices it, right? And she doesn't say anything. She just smiles. She's like, whatever, cool beans, right? And so she's like, okay. She just smiles and goes with it. And so we get in the van, and I don't know why we get in this van, but we get in the van. Like, we don't know these people. These little pedophile looking vans, and we get in and we sit down, right? I remember buckling up, door closes. Next thing we know, we're at this like fucking like, I guess you call it an auditorium, but it's a fucking big ass room, and it was pitch black inside, and it had this table, big table, and it sat all the people that were there, and had me and my little brother and my roommate next to us, right? Like, I'm in the middle, and this table had a little hole in the middle thing, so people were walking in and out, I guess, like whatever, they could present stuff. And so as they're presenting this stuff, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? This is weird. In this dark room, it's pitch black, and she pulls out this tote, right? This big plastic tote, and like comes up to me and puts it there in front of me and like my friends. And inside there's this like a brain just sitting there. His brain just sitting there. Like, the fuck is this thing, right? And it was like, ooh. Brain just sitting there next to the syringe. And she's explaining with the slideshow, the screen pulled down. She's talking about how, like, inside the middle of the brain, there's this juice that's only like, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches, like, of juice. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know how to measure it, but it's like, right, 2 inches to 3 inches of this juice that you get out of the brain, like in the very center, and there's one spot, this magic spot in there, and that person, if you take that out, that's the person's like basically soul. That's who they are, right? And so they're like, this is this person, this is who it is, whatever. You can leave it in here, and it's frozen inside this syringe, right? And okay, you can see it was like smoking, cool, and like cold, right? She's like, that person's in there, this is what we do, we could do this, and she's like spatting on some weird shit, like how this is the person. And I remember when we opened the door and I looked at it, it's like the smell, it's like blah, it hits you like bleh, bleh, bleh. Like I'm gonna throw up in the dream, right? I'm making these like throw up, I was like, what the fuck? And then look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, cause this smell is nasty. I remember the smell being nasty. And I was like, fuck. So I'm like, dude, I need some water. I was like, dude, I've been kind of pushing that, like shoving off the table. Like, ugh, I need some water or something. I need something, right? And they're like, yeah, like the doctor, scientist, lady, whatever, all these scientist, lab coat people. They're like, it's over there in the corner. So they point in the corner, and in the corner, there's a. What is that? In the corner, there's this like fridge, like a mini fridge. Looks like a mini fridge. They're like, it has coconut water in there and water. And I don't know why they say to the coconut water, but I don't ever drink coconut water. I'm not fancy. So they're like, there's water and coconut water in there and ice. You're good. You just have some of that. We know the smell sucks. We're used to it. Like they sniff it. They like, we can smell it. It's fine. We're used to it, right? But like normal people, it's not for normal people. Like, okay, cool beans. I get up and somehow I make my way through there in this darkness. Like, this is pure darkness. And I get there, open the fridge, right? Ice shoots out at me, like piling out. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like these colors are like blue, red, green, and there's white, you know, like normal one, but it's like this weird. It's ice. I know it's ice because it's cold. You touch it, but it's not like ice. It's ice, but it's not, right? It's not like see-through ice, but it's like some really deep color. Like, damn, like that's not like, I don't know how you explain it. Like, that's not. It looked like a crystal. You know what I'm saying? I guess the best way to call it. I don't know, but it just was not like ice. Is kind of like you can see it's kind of clear and like not clear, like transparent. I guess you call it. Like you see through it a little bit. But these are like solid colors, like ooh, like it's super concentrated, I guess. And it's all piling out in these three colors. Like, oh shit, right? I'm like, what the fuck? And as they're piling out, I'm like, oh, whatever. I see the water. I see the coconut waters in there. The cans, right? So I'm grabbing them. I don't know why I grabbed the coconut water first, the coconut can thing. I grabbed the water, right? And then, as I'm grabbing it, there was a guy, this random fucking crazy dude there. He's like standing there, like freaking out. Like, not really freaking, we could use like, just like you could tell he just wasn't, like you tell he's just like he was there, but he's not there. Like, he was like some crazy person, right? He's like, oh, like twitching, being crazy. It's like, fuck. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to be nice to this guy. I'm like, I'm gonna offer him some like this fucking coconut water. It's the coconut water. I have to offer it to him, right? And like, he's freaking out about it. He's talking about this coconut water that's on the other side of the room and pointing it out. And I'm like, when he points it out, it like fucking lights up. Like, he's just, boop, right? Like, you see it. And it's lit. So when it pops up, ow, it pops up and there's like a window fan, like one of those big like square window fan things, you know, like one of those. And it's just chilling there next to this table, and then like it's on the floor, but it's like some reason it's on the floor. The table is empty, and the coconut water is sitting next to it. I don't know if it's open or not. I just know the coconut water is there, right? And he's like, just freaking out, like, the coconut water. No, don't drink the coconut water. He's like, don't drink that coconut. He's like, that coconut water. Pointing at that one specifically. I'm like, you want a new one? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, I want a new one. Just don't drink that coconut water. There's something wrong with that coconut water. That coconut water. Freaking out about it. And I'm like, all right, dude, here. How about this? I'll get you a coconut water. And the new one, have him open it up, right? I'm like, here, dude. New coconut water. Open it up. Fresh. Nobody's tainted it. I'm just being super nice to him, like he's a regular human being, right? Because you know, like, those people like are crazy like that. You don't want to be like, be extra crazy, because they're like freak him out, right? Just treat him like calm, normal, and you're good to go. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, yeah, he's normal. He's talking about the coconut water. Here's the new coconut water. And I'm at my destination. I'll be back. 1 second. Okay, so since I had time to cool down, now I can start my bed. Since I had time to cool down, I can start over again, right? That makes sense. So, in here, I think I was at the part where the guy, I think you figured it out. I was about the guy who's freaking out, right? He was sitting there freaking out, and I was like, the coconut water, he didn't want that coconut water from him. I'm like, here's a new can for this coconut water, my dude. You take it, brand new, right? Brand new. You can have it. You can open it. I was like, you can even open it, brand new, on me, and here's some ice too to make it cold, right? And it's just being nice to this guy, right? Because if you start like realizing that he's crazy and freaking out, and don't treat him like a normal person, they'll know something wrong. They'll know, like, they're like automatically think you're against them, you're not friends with them, and all that shit. Just be kind, right? So I was just being nice. I was like, okay, here, dude, nice to you, right? Here's some free water. Yeah, man, you can have water as well. You don't have to have the coconut water, man. Just get double hydrated. You know, double, 2 times is better. Just giving it to him, just being nice to him, right? Yeah, he gets it. It's super cool. And so I'm like, okay, about it. He's cool about it, right? So it's like, okay, cool beans. I'm not gonna die. He's happy. Everything's okay. And he's just still talking about the coconut water. I'm like, oh, yeah, hey, they're calling me over there. If you want to sit here, somehow the magic chairs. I pulled up the chair. I'm like, here's your chair. You can sit and relax here, dude. Be nice to him. And I was like, okay. Then I went back to my table, right? Went back to my seat. As I'm in my seat, and that's when they're like, they start talking more about this, and then they had this like here. They showed us a demonstration as like the demonstration. The tables got pushed back farther. We all got slid back, and the platform moves up. And there's like this. I had a dog that was on the table, right? And she was just like there, out cold, like bleh, right? And they had this big like robotic arm with this like big ass fucking needle in it. And she takes the syringe, it warms up, right? And sticks it in the thing. And as it warms itself up, it's in there. And she's like, this is like this person's soul. So you had another needle that sucks out the dog's liquid thing, which is the same volume. I remember it being exactly the same. It's like, regardless of what you are, or I think she said regardless of what it is, it's always generally around the same kind of like liquid volume, which I thought it was weird because I'm like, dude, that's a, I think, that's a doggo, right? So like smaller, and so you would think it would have less, right? But I guess not. She's like, nah. She said something, and I was like, okay. I didn't really get it. I was like, okay. And so I was like, okay. I didn't really get it, but I was like, that's fine, whatever, you know. That's you. That's cool, right? I was like, that's cool. Like, I don't get it, but okay. I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember exactly what was said. I just remember it was like, I just remember saying that it was close enough the same. It'll be a little bit different. I just don't know. And I was like, you know, when I was like, how can it be the same if the size is different? Obviously, like, a person's different from like the dog's brain, right? So it would be different, you would think. And she's like, no, because you're not talking about liquid, you're talking about their essence of who they are. Essence of who they are. So everybody's the same. You're born with that amount. Which is like, well, you could be born less with less amount. That's why you got people that are less that are challenged. She's like, that are challenged, that can't function correctly. That's because they have less, or they think different, or they have less. So we're here to fix that. Is how we fix it. But if we do this, you take out 100% of this stuff. You take out who they are. Then you inject the other 100%. That's who they are. They will have control of this body. That's who they are. And you could do that multiple times a month because the liquid does not go away. It does not change. Unless you lose it, unless you like die, and it goes away when you die. But you only have a certain amount of time frame, like a couple days. I think it's like 72 hours. It's like 3 days, right? She's like, there's about 2 to 3 days, depending on how bad, badly damaged your body is, or something. Or how bad damaged the brain is, or something bad, but it's whatever. It's like you have about 3 days or less, depending how fucked up you got, right? I was like, okay. And I was like, alright, whatever. And I was like, okay, that's cool, right? Went in. So she's like, this is this person, and then when she said the name, and I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. And then she's like, yeah, you helped me a long time ago, and that's where I came in. That's where she's like, I found you, I'm repaying you back. Thanks for letting me repay you back. And when she said that, I had this flashback of like, way back when. I don't know how long, but way back when. And she was like, this is the first person that we did this to. So you should be proud, right? I was like, okay, whatever. I don't even know what the fuck's going on, right? but we had this flashback. This flashback brings me back to, I don't know how many years ago, but it was a long, because I remember it being little. This lady's like, now she's like 18, 19, she's an adult, right? Like 20 somewhere, she's like older. But this was back when she was little. Because I remember like, we were, once again, having lunch or dinner or food. We were having food, breakfast food. I think it was lunch or breakfast because it was so bright out. And we hear this explosion. It goes, bah! Right? Something exploded in the city we're in. And for whatever reason, my little brother and my roommate, they're like, we have to go save these people. Some bad shit's going on. We got to save them. Got to save them. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, you guys could do that because I don't have any skills to go save these people. What do I have? Nothing. I'm a fucking weirdo. Okay, I have no skills. And they're like medical skills, right? They got medical skills. Like they're doing their thing to go save people, to help people. I'm like, okay, I'll call 911. That's all I can do. Oh, that's it. You look like you're fucking hurt. I'll call 911. That's me, right? They're like wrapping people up, taking things, like doing all the things because they're nurses and whatever. Like you see them, like, oh, that's what they do, right? They fix people. I'd make the situation worse. But so that goes on, right? And it's like, okay, what the hell, right? We go towards it, people running away, more explosions happening, and as we get into this building, it's all broken building, we're climbing up this shit, these piles of rubble, we're climbing up it, and it goes into like this thing where we see, I remember seeing the doorway in the corner, and then there's like this like room. I don't know if it was a lab room, whatever. It was like some sciencey science shit, right? And stuff was all like blown up into pieces, and I see this girl. This girl is there, and she's being yanked. Like I'm talking about, like somebody's gonna have fucking kidnapped this girl or some weird shit, some crazy shit, right? So I'm pulling her. She like does not want to go with this person, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Right? And as we go in there, like I guess her people or her army people are like, oh, they try to help out, and they get fucked up. Like they get destroyed by this guy. They get destroyed, and it's like, okay, that's not good, right? Not good. They're getting wrecked, and I was like, oh, this girl definitely now is freaking out even more, and does not want to go with this person. So we're like, fuck, we gotta go do something. And my roommate, my little brother, they do their thing. They're trying to like destroy whatever, and somehow we get him down, and I'm stabbing the fuck out of him. Like that's the only thing I could do. I'm like, I'm only following them, right? I'm only following them because they could do things, right? And best thing I could do, because I see people screaming, you know, I could like maybe like be like the muscle, even though I have no muscle, right? I got no muscle. Look at this, no muscle, right? And I could at least be somewhat of a help. So I was like, okay, I'll do that, and then I'll protect you just in case shit hits the fan. Like if somebody attacks you because they're crazy, whatever's going on, something blowing up, right? I could stab the fuck out of somebody and help out, or like pull them off, or do whatever, right? Like I'm not here to like medicate and help people because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just here to like make sure you guys don't get fucked up, right? That was my goal when I was there. So doing that, stab the fuck out of them, like, get the fuck away. I don't know, but somehow, whatever. And the girl is freaking out, right? And she picks up like something to defend herself, and I'm like ready to stab the fuck out of the guy, like full blown adrenaline, like we're gonna fuck shit up. And I was like, you better put that shit down unless you don't want to end up like him. I don't know who you are, but we're done. We got what we want to do. We're going to the next room. Do your thing, right? And I was like, better drop that. Go hide in the corner. Do whatever you need to do, because apparently bad shit's happening, right? And so she does that. My little brother, my roommate, helped her like give her shit, whatever they need to do, like bandage her and do all that stuff, right? And so it's like, okay, so you got that down. I'm like, cool beans. You bandaged her, you helped her out. And now we're going to go to the next room, and she's like hiding, doing whatever. I don't know, she's hiding or doing something. And we go into the next room. I come back to like now time, I guess, like now, right? I'm like, oh, I realized, like, oh, that's the flashback. Now I'm like here. I'm like, I remember now. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I remember who you are. I'm like, how long has it been? Oh, it's been a while. She's like, it's been a while, but we figured out how to. Somehow they got that, whatever. Like, I guess they had that technique for the longest, but now they perfected it. Like, they could extract it. Like, I'm like, and I'm like, oh, you were the little girl, right? So she's like, yeah, okay. Now she realized I know, right? And so it's like, okay, now then that's displayed, right? So you know, I'm like, cool, okay. And she's like, and I was like, I'm like, that was a long time ago. I was like, that was a long time ago. How, like, I'm assuming this is recent technology. We had this technology for a long time. We just perfected it now. Like, we could preserve people for a long time. And all the other science are not in it yet. We could preserve it like this, right? And but now we perfected it. And I'm here to show you to pay back because of what you said. And I guess when I was stabbing the fuck out of this guy, right? I was like, I guess I was angry because she's like, I was thinking like he was gonna do bad shit to the girl. So I was like, that's fucked up. Like, you know, you only get to live once. I'm surprised. You know, if you could live again, I wish you were a fucking bitch. You know, so it's like fucking, I don't know, like something crazy. But she's remembered it, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds like me, but okay, but whatever, right? And so it's like, okay, so she's doing her thing, and so she's just showing it. So she sticks it in here. So she stuck out the dog essence brain, whatever, I don't know what you fucking call it. Like, the machine goes, pokes this fucking big ass fucking needle into the brain hole, like into that spot where you need it, right? So it's kind of like, now when you watch The Matrix, and in like the first Matrix where like they pull the needle out the back of the brain, like that big, it's like fucking big. It's like one of those, like, the power of this thing overheating. Okay, so I had to watch where I left off at this place where if you watch The Matrix, well, you pull out the fucking needle thing out of your back brain hole, right? Basically, up to how long it was, like fucking long as shit. And it's like, okay, what the hell? What's going on? And so when they pulled it out, right? That's how big it was. So it's like this long needle going into this dog's brain. It's sucking this stuff out, and you can see it suck out. It's like some thick liquid thing. And it's like, okay. As the thick liquid stuff comes out, it's like, nah, it's nasty, right? So it pulls out. And when it's out, she takes it, the machine stops, she takes it out, and exchanges it, right? Well, I guess she doesn't do it, another like does it itself, whatever. It's like, it reloads itself, right? And so it sticks the new thing in. The needle's still in there, and it's just replacing it. It shoots it in there, and that's it. And they pull the needle out, and it was done, right? Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Apparently when they pulled it out, like that's it, and the dog's still like, bleh. But you still had a heartbeat, it was still alive, you know, like whatever, right? Cool. And then like the table went down, and then they had the dog thing, and the dog juices down, the brain juice, whatever you call it. And they have this person now, like this person. They had that crazy guy. So another table. He's like, here. So that's one portion. It's like this is one portion where like we take the whole thing where the whole person is in there. So in that dog brain now is that person that person. I was like, okay, all right, cool. So that's who they are now, and you can do that multiple times. Like the liquid doesn't go away; it stays the same amount regardless of how long and ever. And explains like you're still who you are, and you still have all your memories and stuff. It's just how, I guess, is how the brain accesses it. So when you're younger, you can access a lot of it. I don't know why, but when you're like in a certain age, it's okay. But then when you get older, I thought people start being like dementia and stuff like that. She's explaining it because the brain itself is not the liquid. The liquid has all the memories and everything, but the brain just can't access it. I'm like, oh, because it's getting old. I'm like, I guess that's how she's feeling, but I don't even fucking know. I'm like, that's weird shit. So I'm sciencing science and stuff that I don't know. I'm like, okay. And so it goes into now like where it goes into the other guy, and they're like, hey, this person's here, this is where this comes in handy, is where this research originated from. And they had this guy, he was all like, it was that crazy guy earlier, and he's just crazy, and they coax him like this guy has less liquid because the brain damage, like he had brain damage, and the liquid had to try to repair the brain or whatever. I don't know. Something with something with him having less access to the liquid or less liquid. I think, I don't remember exactly. It was less access. I think it was less access to the liquid because the brain wasn't functioning correctly. So to make it work better, the brain can only access 80%, let's say 70% of the liquid. But if we had more liquid in there from another thing, then it would access more of the liquid, even though it's still 80%, we have more liquid, so it'd be fine. I guess that's how she explained it to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. Right. Because I guess if you look at it, if you have like 80, like if you had a way that she explained it was like if you have a 1 gallon jug and you only get 50% of that, right? That's a half gallon. Easy numbers, right? And then it's like, but if you had 2 gallons, but you would still get 50% of that, that's still 1 gallon, so you're still functioning, you still have more, right? I was like, oh, okay. You dumbed it down for normal people terms for me, instead of doing the liquid, and then the thing, and the percent, and then this, and because of, oh, like, whatever. That's better, right? So I was like, cool. And, so it was like, all right, that makes more sense to me, right? Okay. So, so they're how the liquids are. I'm like, okay, cool beans, right? Dumbed it down for me. Thank you, got it. So they took the dog juices, right? In the machine. They set this other, and the lady talked to the crazy guy and coaxed the crazy guy. I was like, hey, here, you know, do this thing. Got on the chair and strapped it in there while he was awake and alive. And they strapped him down so he wouldn't move too much. And he's freaking out, right? He's like, you will like this, you will understand, we're doing this for you, yeah, right? And they inject the thing, and they take the needle, instead of taking away they inject most or all the dog juices in there. So I don't know if that's like a mixture of him and the dog. I think they injected like half or something. It wasn't all of it, it was like majority of it, right? And I don't know how they equated how much they needed in there for, like I said, it's like, I guess they evaluated him or something, or how much like he's missing to inject. And then once they got in there, so he got the majority of it, and they're like, oh, we'll save this for, I don't know why we're gonna save it, but whatever. But when he got it in there and went to sleep, like when they strapped him down, made him go to sleep. But he was awake when they injected him, and you could see it. Sorry, I didn't mean this. I don't know why I said sleep. But he was awake when they injected into him, and you could see like the eyes get wide, and he's like starting to comprehend things and like realize things and stuff like that. And so once it was done, they pulled it out and patched him up. He was talking like normal, and he even explained why he was fixated on like he's like, I don't even know why I was fixated. Like his brain for some reason wanted to be fixated on the fan and the coconut water over there for whatever reason. He was like, I don't know why, it was just something about the coconut water. It just like tripped. I'm gonna assume where I left off because I was recording. This fucking thing is so hot. I don't understand how to do this. It's difficult. I'm gonna get better at it. But so as he started to realize things, he was over obsessed with the coconut water because I guess it triggered a memory he had of coconut water, is why they obsessed over certain things like that. I was like, oh, cool. Like, you're normal now. And he's like, yes. I guess he's like, yeah, I guess I'm normal, right? But he's like, there's some trade stuff left, like the dog stuff. And I'm like, I guess whatever. They're like, okay, now you go have fun in society, be helpful, and or take him to the room. Like, we'll do more studies on you. Appreciate it. The lady was being nice to him. And they gave him like warning, be aware, because I guess depending on what you use, what kind of animal you use, you get some of their traits. So, okay. I was like, okay. But, I mean, it helps out everybody. And, that's pretty much... That's weird. This fucking thing overheated on the last couple minutes of my story, and that's it. Now, I got 2 minutes on this video because of the... That's all I had. Because once he was done, it was like, okay, done. And it just like... Alright, so they sent him to the room. It's not really done. When they sent him to the room, they do what? They're talking to him. And they're like, okay, so we're done talking in the dream. And she's like, hey, you can have this puppy when it wakes up, right? It's like, you can have this dog when it wakes up because you said you wanted it to see it. Well, we'll study it for now, so in a couple weeks, it'll be fine, right? But it's just remember, that's who it is that's in it. And then when it gets old and whatever, just come to us, we'll do it again, you know? And she said in a very like, oh, I hate this fucker guy kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can do as many times as you want because I don't like that motherfucker. Like, she did not like him for whatever reason. I'm like, you do not want this technology to be in hands of some people that do not like you, because you can live forever as like, I don't know, as a cow or something crazy. Well, I don't know, like something crazy, right? Well, I was like, okay, cool, we'll do. Yeah. And it's like, you can use this technology too. And when she was giving me the options, I was like, at that point, my alarm went off. I woke up. I was like, what? That's cool. But she gave me, she gave me this card, right? This business card. And when she gave me the business cards when I woke up, I don't remember what was on the business card. I just remember it had a shape of a brain on it for some reason, and that was it.